Okay, so today we are going to look at some ATO basketball plays. Now, what are ATO basketball plays? ATO basketball plays are after timeout basketball plays. So these are plays that, us as coaches, we want to draw up after a timeout. Now, a lot of times, coaches, a big measure of success for coaches is how well we can create ATO basketball plays, how well our ATO basketball playbook is. Because, as your team is running your sets, almost every single possession on the floor, they're playing read and react, whatever style of basketball that you're presenting to them, you want to be able to call a timeout and throw out something new, throw out, even if your team has seen it before, the other team has not. So as a coach, you want to have great ATO basketball plays in your playbook. So here we're going to look at 3 ATO basketball plays, 3 of my favorite ATO basketball plays that result in an easy layup every time. Some may also have some opportunities for, some shooters in there as well. But again, these ATO plays are quick, they're easy, but they're effective. And they work. They work a lot, especially against man-to-man defenses, right? We're going to focus mainly on plays where, we can score on man-to-man defenses. Can you score on zones as well with some of these? Yes. But again, we're going to focus here on ATOs against man-to-man defenses that result in easy buckets every time. So let's take a look at my 3 favorites. Okay, so let's take a look at this basketball play. This is an ATO basketball play. It's a pistol hammer basketball play. So what we're going to have here is the opportunity for a layup, but we're also going to have the opportunity to get a 3-point shooter open. So multiple different opportunities here, multiple different ways that we can go about it. So let's take a look. So number 1 is going to be our point guard, right? They're going to be the person driving to the basket that we want to, get open for a layup. Okay, number 4, you want to have a power forward there, someone who is a threat, but, someone who can post up kind of in that elbow/horns area to receive the basketball. Number 5 over here is typically going to be a post player, right, in that kind of dunker spot. And then number 2 and number 3, here you want, your shooters or your shooting guard or your small forward, whatever that may be. Okay, so here's how we're going to go about this. We're going to have an entry pass in here to number 4. So like I said, number 4 needs to kind of post up a little bit and, try to receive that basketball. Now, number 1, they're going to, get close to number 4 to receive a dribble handoff. So if you want them to fake this way, then, go that way, that works too. If you just want them to kind of meet halfway, maybe at the 3-point line or something, that works as well, right? We just want to get the ball back into number 1's hands. So what we're going to do then is have number 1 drive to the basket. Now, chances are the defense isn't going to be okay with just letting this be a one-on-one drive to the basket. Eventually, somebody's going to step in to help, right? Whether it's the man of number 5 here, right? If they step in to help, or, number 3, if they step in to help. But all of these players are going to be focused right on that initial drive. All the defenders are going to be focused on that initial drive. So number 1 is going to drive here to the basket. Number 4, we're going to have number 4 stay wide, right? If that defense collapses, an option that we'll have is to pass it back to number 4. But as that is happening, number 2 and number 3 need to switch, right? So there's a couple different ways you can go about it. You can have number 2 come up and set a screen here for number 3 to move that way, right? Or, you could have, number 2 and number 3 literally just switch, right? And then have number 5 to step in for an extra screen on their way down. There's a few different options. Now, what number 5 is doing here, if they're not getting that, dunker's pass, they're going to basically, be used to set. So if they're not getting this dunker's pass here for number 1, I should say, they're going to be used to just set an additional screen to get, the person open who is going to be shooting the basketball. So what I mean is this, right? If we're just going to have number 2 and number 3 switch, right, we're going to have number 5 to step in and set another screen here for number 3 to get number 3 wide open. So, we can use number 5 to be involved in that screening action, right? But what we're going to actually look at here for our second option is, as number 1 drives to the basket, we're going to likely see the defense here from number 2 and number 3, even before they switch, collapse into the middle to try to help out here onto number 1. So the focus is going to be on number 1. So number 2 and number 3 can easily make that switch, right, with number 5 kind of stepping in to set that second screen, because the defense is going to be looking over here at that drive, right? They're going to be looking at number 1. So number 1, as they drive, when the defense collapses, we're going to have a few opportunities here to kick it out for a shooter right here, because number 5 just stepped in to set that second screen. Or, like I said, you can go for that layup, but you'll have an option here for a shooter, and you'll have an option here for a shooter. So you're going to get a quick and easy layup or an open three-point shot from one of these shooters. Okay, so the next play that we're going to look at here comes from a horn set. So as we can see, right, we have our players kind of set up at the elbow here on a horns style. So we have our point guard here with the basketball, and we're going to have number 2 and number 3. We want those folks to be shooters, right? Just ready to be open for the basketball, right? So the first thing that we're going to have right here is number 5 is going to set a screen right here for number 1. Now, this is a bit of a decoy screen, right? Number 1 isn't going to really use that screen, right? They're just going to kind of use that to see the floor. It's a decoy to start the play. But then immediately number 5 is going to move down here to set a screen for number 4 on our on our horns. Okay, so number 4 is coming off of that screen. And at this point, number 1 is already going to start moving toward the center so that they can kind of meet number 4 here toward the middle of the floor. And number 4 is going to set another screen here for number 1. Now, we're going to then have a pick and roll between number 1 and number 4. But before that happens, number 5 is going to move down here and set a screen for number 2. So number 2 can curl to the three-point line. So we have that, like I said, pick and roll here between number 1 and number 4, who's rolling. So number 1 is obviously driving to the basket. And number 4 is rolling. But now you also have number 3 coming off of that pin down screen to be open at the three-point line. So we can also kick it out here to number 2 for an open three-point shot. So multiple different options here. We have those 2 options with that pick and roll, but we also have a shooter, number 2, curling wide for an outside three-point shot. All right, folks, I need to quickly stop right there before we move into our next topic to mention that right now, 97.1% of our daily viewers are not subscribed to our channel. So that means if you are one of these people, if you are one of these 97.1% who are not currently subscribed but are watching this video, it would be greatly appreciated if you could take the time real quick to hit that subscribe button. It will help us continue to make content like this, continue to make basketball plays for other coaches, basketball drills for other players, and basketball, everything that both players and coaches and organizations alike can use. So again, if you could really quickly take the time to hit that subscribe button, it'll just take 2 seconds. It would be greatly appreciated. But moving on to our next topic. Okay, so the next play that we're going to look at comes from a flex set. Okay, so we're going to be set up. We have our point guard here at the top of the floor, right? And we're going to be looking to get the ball down here to number 3. So you want number 3 to be somebody who can get the ball down low and score at the basket, right? It can be a small forward. It can be a power forward. It can even be, one of your bigger post players if you want it to be. But we want to get the ball down there to number 3. So with this one, the first step that we're going to do, we want number 2 to get open to the basketball. So we need to find a way for number 2 to get open, or this, one pass away player here. How you want to do it is up to you. You just need to find a way to get number 2 open. I usually just get them kind of V-cut into the key and out. Okay, so number 1 is going to feed the ball into number 2. Now, as that happens, number 5 is going to come to about the three-point line, and set a screen here for number 1. And number 1 then is going to use that screen to cut to the basket. If they can get the ball and receive it from number 2, we can get it in there for quick entry pass to number 1, but chances are that's not going to be there. So number 1 is just going to continue at that point and move over here to set a screen for number 3. Now, as that is happening, number 5 is going to pop off of that screen to around the middle of the floor, and they're going to receive the ball back from number 2. Now, number 3 is coming off of that screen from number 1. They're doing a flex cut, and then they're going to be open, wide open down here under the basket. We're going to feed them in the basketball for a wide open layup. All right, folks, that is all we have for today's particular topic. If you made it this far into today's lesson, it is greatly appreciated. Now, if you guys could also do me a huge favor and like this video and subscribe to our channel, it would also be greatly appreciated. We are the Online Basketball Academy. My name is Coach Danny, and I continuously upload different basketball plays, basketball systems, basketball tactics, and basketball drills that youth basketball players or training basketball players can use or basketball coaches can use with their players and their teams. Like I said, folks, if you could take the time to like this video and subscribe to our channel so I can continue to make this type of content for you all, that would be greatly appreciated. Till next time, peace out.